Well, it's the start of harvest day 4, and it stopped raining at about 3 a.m. So that's going to be interesting to see what the moisture is in the fields. And that's kind of the big thing right now is we want to make sure there's not a lot of moisture, because what we're trying to do today is pull that other potato field out. So, and that requires a lot of moving parts, specifically on the combines that they have. So we want to make sure that you know, we're not plugging them up with mud and all that other junk, you know. That's really kind of the goal, is to not destroy those more than they already are. So I mean, I'm gonna have to open this door. We'll have to see if we can even harvest today, if we're just gonna have to do some stuff around the farm. So I'm gonna run up there before the other guys even get here. I told them I'll give you a call if I need you, if we're gonna actually harvest. Because it downpoured all night. Like I said, it stopped at about 3 a.m. That's when it stopped. So I want to make sure we're set and ready to go before I call all of them in and they're just sitting around, you know, because if we don't need them, we don't need them. So I'm going to run up to the field here and just take a look and see kind of how we're doing and what the status is here. Got a lot of weed in that field already. Okay, so just over here, we'll run up and we will check just over this hill here. Check what the moisture is, and we'll go from there. We might have to let it dry for a little. Maybe start at noonish. See, let's just pull off to the side here. It's not horrible. Put our flashlight on here. It's not horrible. It's definitely wet though. I can feel my I can feel me sinking in. Maybe we'll we might give it a few hours, let the sun come up. It's only 7 o'clock. We'll let the sun come up maybe, and kind of let that dry out a little. It's gonna take us some time too to get things hooked up and kind of moved, because we put everything inside last night after the when the storm started. Put everything inside because there was high winds and whatnot. So we do have to hook up the or move some tractors and actually unhook one of them. I don't know which one, so that we can actually hook up to the cart that we need for this. So we got some shuffling to do and whatnot. And then I'll probably call those guys, have them come in at like 10, 11-ish. And that way we can get going and hopefully get that out, or most of that out today. All right, we've traded the truck out for the gator here. We're gonna pull up into the main shop and just kind of unload that and get some stuff situated, because that is a mess right now. Turn our headlights off. There we go. We just kind of threw things everywhere in here. So there's a grain cart sitting in here. We got the speed tiller sitting in here, which actually has to go back out. We got the Batwing in here. We got trucks in. We just, stuff is everywhere. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna open both doors and get this grain cart out of here. That's the first thing that's got to go, because we're pretty much done with that. And then the speed tiller's got to go back to that Stroham field over there. That's what Blake's gonna hop into when he gets here. And then we're just we got a bunch of stuff we got to do. That's all at this point, and it got a bunch of stuff to do and not a lot of time, which is about accurate for us. Kind of expecting it too. So yeah, we're gonna continue going strong here, and I'm gonna get some of this cleaned up and put the camera down for a little, because probably gonna get frustrated here in a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Okay, we're getting this bad boy fired up. This has the Batwing on it, and we're gonna go, because we're waiting for some people, I'm gonna go finish up kind of some of these areas that I didn't brush hog or mow the other day in between there. So here's kind of the plan, and while I'm doing this, I'll kind of get you the plan here and what's gonna happen and what's going on. So fold that, we'll turn that down. There we go, boom, turn that on, make sure that's good, and we can lower that. Okay, so kind of the plan here, what the plan is we got one more wheat field that we're ready to, or we're not ready, but we're waiting for it to kind of finalize its we're kind of waiting for it to finish growing. So we got one more wheat field. We're only gonna put one harvester on it. It's kind of small. It's over by where that first potato field was, and kind of the other side of this Stroham field as well. So it's over that way. We're only gonna put one harvester, one combine on it. We're gonna take the probably just one truck and that grain cart. So I really don't want to put that cart away if we're still gonna need it here coming up soon. So we're not gonna. What we're gonna do is we're going to leave that out and leave that ready. Now we do have to finish speed tilling the rest of this field here that we just harvested the other day. We do have to finish tilling that. So the plan's gonna be when Blake gets here, he's just gonna hop right on that. He was tilling the rest of it. He knows where he left off, and he should be pretty good to get that done, or most of that done, either today or by tomorrow, is kind of what we're predicting at this point. And then when the other two guys get here, Joey and Dave, they're going to, pending the fact that, well, the other two are done, ready to go. They're gonna hop in the potato harvesters, and they're gonna get going on that potato field while I run cart for them. We do have that third harvester. We don't have a guy to run it. The co-op does, if they get it up and running. So if they can do that, they're gonna get that up and running, and that's gonna be the goal today. We do have that sugar beet field, however, and we haven't fully decided, but I think the plan is we're going to till that, and we're just going to forego that field. We're getting late. It's early November right now. The co-op's the only ones that has harvesters for it, and quite frankly, we don't want to have to deal with that that hassle of, you know, sending them one set of harvesters back and picking up another. That's just a lot to deal with, and we don't want to deal with that right now. So I think we haven't fully decided, but I think we're gonna just till those under, which not ideal, but we kind of have to do what we have to do at this point. I'm gonna get in this New Holland here and see if I can't move those headers. There we go. It's not ideal at this point, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and with it being this late and we have to lime stuff, we have to do all kinds of stuff, I don't think it's worth our time to harvest it and get behind on everything else. So these what do I do with those forks? So anyways, I'm gonna put the forks on this. That's kind of the game plan moving forward at this point. We'll see if anything changes. I don't foresee it changing, though. I think that's kind of what we've settled on, and what's going to be best for us at this point. So I'm going to try to find where I put those forks and try to move these headers. Really don't know where I put those. All right, we spent like the last hour, and I mowed a bunch of stuff all the way over by the grain bins, all the way down the front yard. I mowed all that. So that, you know, it makes everything look nice. So I'm not exactly sure at this point, but Blake will be here probably within the next 10 minutes. He's going to get here a little bit earlier than everyone else. He's at least going to get going on the speed tilling out back. As for the potatoes, I don't know if we're actually going to do that today. I talked with the co-op while I was down there mowing. They said it could be done. However, they would recommend waiting a day with the amount of rain we got, which is fine, but not ideal. Not what I want to do, but if we have to, we will. However, we do have other things we can do. We got a ton of stuff we can do. The first thing being, we just gotta, we got a bunch of tillage to do still. And if we're gonna do that sugar beet field, we're gonna till that over, and I'm gonna talk with them again before we make that decision here. I'm gonna run down there. If we're gonna till that sugar beet field, we're gonna start it now, and we're gonna do that now. Plus, we got lime we gotta spray, or spread, I should say, not spray, but spread. So we got stuff we can do while we wait for that to dry out. Plus, I got stuff I got to go pick up at Pioneer Seeds and the co-op for the rest of our herbicide and all that, liquid fertilizer, all that. So I'm going to hop in the gator, run down, talk with them, make that final decision, and go from there about whether we're going to till that field or what we're going to do. So I think we made a decision. I talked with the co-op, who is back there working on that last planter, or that last harvester, excuse me. They're almost done. Like, they're pretty much ready to go with that third planter. They're gonna see whether or not it's gonna be good to go today to harvest. So we're gonna get ready as if it is ready to go. And pretty much what I mean by that is we're gonna get this tractor out over here and hook it up, and that's pretty much it. However, I did talk with them about the sugar beet field. We have decided that we're just gonna till it. We don't want to waste the time. You know, it's gonna be a full day of traveling back and forth and all that. So yeah, we're gonna get the 8RT here. It's gonna be a full day of traveling back and forth, and you know, switching machines and all that on top of what we already have to do for the potatoes. It's just not worth it. So we're not going to do it. We're just going to till it. So that's going to be what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hook this up, get it ready. I'm just literally going to hook it up and leave it here. That way it's ready to go if we need to. And other than that, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna grab the set of discs. We're just gonna head up there and start tilling that. I don't want to do this. It's just time wise and what we have the manpower for right now. We kind of have to. So we're gonna hop in the 9630, the set of discs, and we're gonna go to town, and that's gonna be that pretty much. Which will only leave us with 2 fields left, which is that small wheat field and the potato field. So I'm gonna get this out of here, hopefully without hitting that 8RT there, and head up there and just start going. Okay, we made it to the field, the sugar beet field, and we kind of opened it up a little. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up our GPS here. So I'm going to go into my computer. I got this labeled so that it's set, ready to go. We're going to set our initial start point, which is going to put our point here. And then we're just gonna drive forward. Now I already set the width up and all that, and what implement we're using and all that fun stuff, so I don't have to worry about that right this second. But that should be about good. We're gonna set our B point. We got that named. We got that loaded now. So now we have our 2 points. I'm gonna, let's see here. I'm gonna set our guidance. And we're gonna load our track. There we go. Make sure that's on, ready to go. And we're gonna start her up. Beautiful. We're cooking. And you can see our line projection up there. So we should be on a straight path line now. And ready to just sit back, listen to my favorite podcast, the Two Dudes with a View podcast. As always, you know, I gotta love it. And get going and do this field. Blake also called me not that long ago on my way down. He is all set up, and he's up at the field tilling, so he's going too. So yeah, we're doing good. We're making progress, even though we're kind of delayed. So, but that's all right. All right, we're setting up to the last row right now. We're putting our auto track on. We're gonna lower our set of discs. There we go. And then we're gonna start our track. But this is the last section here of this sugar beet that we're tilling in. And it actually went pretty smooth. I can't complain. It went very smooth. Only took me like really an hour and a half, 2 hours. I had to stop a few times, take some phone calls, whatnot. So that kind of slowed me down, but overall, it's not bad. I can't complain too much. So we're getting to the end here. We'll cancel our auto track. We'll lift our implement up, turn our GPS off, and we'll fold it. There we go. Oh, I gotta turn the GPS. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll fold this, and I'll go check in with Blake, see how he's doing while I get this back to the shop here. We might come down at some point, depending on, we still haven't decided whether we're gonna go yet, and actually harvest these potatoes. I'm gonna check in with them on my way by as well. But depending on that, we might come down and we gotta till that sunflower field too, so that might be the next thing we do. We'll see though. Okay, I just talked with the co-op guys. They think if we give it another hour, maybe 2, we'll be good to go for harvesting potatoes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call Joey and Dave, get them down here at noon. That way, by the time we start, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock. So we're giving it roughly 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, somewhere in that range. And then we're going to get going. What I'm going to do in the meantime, I did talk with Blake. Blake's doing fine out back. He's cranking out, doing good. I'm going to switch the set of discs for that digger over there. Or the cultivator over there. Just because I think it's gonna do a little bit better of chopping those stalks up that are on the ground compared to this just being you know, get everything stuck. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to run and just start on that sunflower field. I don't know how much I'm going to get done. We got right around an hour and a half, because I'm going to get back here around noon when they get here. That way we can get kind of things situated. So I don't know how much I'm going to actually get done, but we'll see. And we'll go from there. But I'm going to get this hooked up and probably grab something to drink here from the house. And then head out. Get back to work. All right, we've made it to the field. We got a lot of weeds already, as you can see. But I wanted to show you guys kind of how we fully get set up. I did at the field over there, the sugar beet, how I kind of set up the GPS and whatnot, but I'm going to fully show you up. So I'm going to turn my GPS on so that it's reading from the Starfire that's up there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually unfold my tool, my implement. Now this is the John Deere 2410 5-section. It's nothing fancy. Just got some shanks on it and then some rakes on the back to kind of smooth things out. That's all. So it's nothing fancy, but it's going to get the job done pretty good for us. So I am going to let that unfold. There we go. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick kind of a point here. Now you can see we already have preloaded the point that it's showing, but I don't want that. So I'm going to go into our setup menu here, and I'm going to auto adjust the auto width because we're at a wider implement than we were with the set of discs. So I'm going to automatically set that. Now, we'll be able to kind of see where our widths are going to line up here. And it's going to be a little bit weird on this first path because of the fact that, you know, this field is not straight all the way down. So we're going to just set a spot here. We're going to go back into our setup menu. And then we're going to go... and create a new field. Now this is field number 28. So we're gonna mark this as field 28. We're gonna set an A point. So that'll set our A point here. And we're gonna drive forward. Now we don't have our implement down. We're just simply driving forward, kind of keeping a line where we want it here. And this is going to set our straight point line. So now once we get a good distance here, I think that's pretty good. We'll go back into our menu. We'll set our line B. Rename this to 28. And then we'll make sure we have that loaded. Now, you can see that it has our line all set. It's all good there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip around. And I'm going to now do it with the cultivator down. And this is going to be our first path. Or pass, I should say. Actually, let's go a little bit wider here. It's going to be our first pass with this field. And now we save this so it automatically uploads to our system, our database system, as you will, that will automatically work in any of our Starfire tractors that have the Starfire on it, which most of them, if not all of them, do. I believe all of them do. So we're going to line up kind of where it wants us to here. We're going to turn our guidance on so that it picks that center track. We're going to make sure just in our setup here that we're on the right field. We are. Beautiful. And then we're going to start our track, lower our digger, let that go, and then we'll start our track again. And we're off. So it'll keep us GPS locked on this main course, keep us nice and straight. That's doing a beautiful job, it looks like. And we're going to be off, ready to go. And just like that, we're digging. At let's see here. Everything looks good. That looks good. We're at about 11 miles an hour. And we're pulling pretty good. So yeah, that's how we set up all of our you know, GPS and our guidance with the Starfire system. This is only a Starfire 3000 that's on here. It's nothing fancy. It's not like the 6000s, the new 6000s. Or I should say new, but the latest updated ones. It's not like any of those. It's the old school stuff, which is fine. It works just fine, and the system does well. So we're gonna keep digging, and we're just getting started here. It's 20 to 11, so we got about an hour and 20 minutes before the guys show up, and we'll see how much we can get done. With GPS, it's kind of nice because we don't have to do a whole lot besides just monitor screens. So that's about it. But we will see how much we can do here in the next hour or so. I want to kind of show you what happens when we get to the end of these runs too. So we're gonna go until we're pretty much set here. So I'm gonna stop my GPS. I'm going to raise my implement, and then we're going to just flip over. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because of the fact that, you know, the marks are a little bit off, but because this is a large section and the field is weird, we're going to line up kind of where the map shows us here, and that's about right. We're going to set our guidance on so that it auto tracks to that center line that it picked already based on the implement width. We're going to start our GPS, lower our digger, and we're off. And just like that, you'll see, once we kind of get into the other portion of the field, that it lines up perfectly with it, and that we're not over cultivating something, we're not missing something, it just lines up perfect. So just another reason that GPS is just amazing. You can see that red and green line. That's kind of our variance that it keeps it between. So the green is the dead center track. The red is how far over it'll actually let us go. And between those two, it keeps it perfect. Just technology at its finest. All right, it's a little past noon here. It's like quarter after, and I'm gonna fold up here. We got a good majority of this field done, not all of it, so we'll have to come back here once they kind of get going and whatnot. But we're gonna run up to the farm and see if they're ready to get harvesting here. I'm gonna stop by the field on the way just to make sure it's all kosher and good and all that. So we're folded up there. I'm gonna run up and check the field out here and make sure that that's good, and then we'll go from there and see if let me turn my GPS off so it doesn't continue to beep at me. There we go. We'll run up there, make sure that's good, and if it's not, we'll figure something out. I don't know. All right, I'm just pulling in with the shank, and we're gonna switch tractors. I did talk to the co-op guys. They're ready. They think that everything will be good. The other guys are here. I don't know where exactly they are, but we're pretty much ready to go. So I'm just gonna pull this straight in, so it's kind of out of our way here. We don't need to get in that shop at all. And okay, let's turn our four-ways off. We'll turn our beacon lights off. We'll turn actually, let's turn that off. There we go. And we'll just leave that there. I'm gonna switch and hop over to the 8RT, the 410, with the cart on it, and I'm gonna take this down and find one of the guys to run down with the gator and pick me up so I can come back and grab a truck or two. I'm not even sure. I'll probably get both of them. There we go. Turn those on, and there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna find one of them real quick and get them to run down with me so they can bring me back so I don't have to walk the entire way. And then I'm gonna go make sure they're ready to hop in the harvesters and do the same thing, and we'll get going here. And we should be able to get most of this done today, I'm hoping. We might stay a little bit late today to get that done. We'll see though. Well, I'm coming up the road right now with the first harvester. Yes, I am, which is sketchy. I was given a little crash course. Dave isn't here yet, so we're kind of waiting for him. We want to get both going. So I'm going to do a couple passes on this. I was given a crash course on it. kind of how to use it, how to set everything up. They pretty much set it up for me. I just have to hit a few buttons, turn a few switches, and let it go. So that's what we're going to do here. But, okay. Let's figure this out here. So the first thing we got to do is we got to make sure, hold on, what button is it? We got to lower this header down. And then we have to, I think we have to do this. Okay, that's got to go down there. And I think we can just turn it on. There, our conveyor belts are going. Okay. Our header looks like it's going. Beautiful. Okay. And then I think we could just drive forward. I think that's the right thing. Let me just, hold on. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to get out just to make sure that everything's going smooth. It's only like 10 feet worth of movement. Okay, we got potatoes getting sorted. Things getting harvested. All right. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is... actually, let me turn this off. I'm going to set up a GPS course for this. Yes, GPS on. We're going to set up a course for it. And we're going to enable this 29. We're going to set our A point. That worked, okay. Now we can go back. We're going to turn this back on. And then we're just going to go a little here. Hopefully this GPS works for us. Okay. Turn this back off. We'll go in, we'll set our B point. Label this field 29. Save. And then we'll load that in. Now, the next thing I got to do, actually, let me go back into my menu here, is set the auto width to this. And now, theoretically speaking, we should have guidance on this. It looks like we do. Turn this back on, that way that's good. And we're going. Beautiful. Now we're gonna get where to a point here. We're just gonna have to go down and turn around, and that'll be all right. But we got to make sure that GPS is good. And the good part is, now that it's in our computer system, the other harvester should recognize that. So we're gonna lift this up, and I'm just gonna flip around and go this way here. Actually, I can turn this off, go a little bit faster. There we go. And we should be all set now to get fully going, theoretically speaking. Looks like the machine's doing good. Now, they pretty much set it up all the way for me. I just have to hit a few buttons and go, and obviously did the GPS setup. But other than that, they did all the work, so I'm just kind of plugging and going here at this point. Oh, God. What am I doing? Okay, let me lower this. Turn our function on. Okay, our GPS course is... Hold on. We gotta back it up here. Get over on our GPS course. Line it up a little bit better. There we go. Okay. We'll turn our guidance on. We'll start our course. It would help if I turn the harvester on. There we go. Now we'll line her up, start our course. And we're good to go. All right. I don't know how much I'm going to do before Dave and Joey gets here, but we're harvesting. All right, I've traded out here. We got both harvesters up and running. This is Dave right here that I'm going to unload. Joey is up. Actually, he took out, there's a little section, we can run up there here in a minute because he's going to be ready for an unload anyways, but there's a little like jot out section there that he went up and did, and then he's actually working on the back part of the field because there's a strip in the middle of the field that wasn't planted. It's weird. We don't know what happened. It's just not planted. So it kind of separates things. So he's out back, Joey's out back doing that section while Dave is just taking row by row of the main field here. And then once Joey gets done, because he'll be way done before Dave, he'll hop in and help Dave out. But we could take a ride back there. I'm going to unload this so I have an empty cart when I go back. And I can show you guys. We have no clue what happened. Even the co-op guy had no clue what happened. I don't know if it was just wet or whatnot, but it didn't get planted, and it's just weird. So that's where we're going right now. But we got both of them running, and we're making progress. So here's that little section here. You can see it's pretty much just like a jot out. And then if we come up here, just over this hill, there's this entire section. It's like a straight line on both sides. It just wasn't planted. We don't know what happened. Whether like the planter just messed up here, because you can see it's got a seed bed on it. I mean, we can get out and look. It's got a seed bed on it, so it was cultivated at least and like ready to be planted. So I don't know if it just the planter didn't work or if it got wet in here for some reason, although it's on top of a hill. I really don't know. So this is Joey back here. He's working on this section, and once he's done, he'll go and hop on with Dave on the main section. So we're gonna chill here because Joey will be next for an unload anyway. So I don't know where he's gonna want to go. He's probably gonna want to back up. He'll be next for an unload, and we'll get him unloaded. We're just gonna run back and forth. Now we don't have storage for any of the potatoes that are coming out of the field now, because of those root crop barns being full. So we're gonna just take them directly to market. Whatever market price is today, that's what we're gonna go with. All right, we just got done unloading here a cart, and we're gonna kind of go on a pause here, and I'll show you why. So for us, actually let me just shut this down here. I don't need this on for now. We got one truck full. Now, let me go in here and I'll pull up the GPS for you. So we're located up here, way up north. And the closest bin site for us, because we don't have any storage room left, the closest bin site for us to drop this potato off, this crop off, is down at the co-op, which is way down here. It's about a 6-7 mile drive. Actually, it's a little bit more than that. It's probably closer to 10-12 miles. One way. We only have 2 trucks, and the issue we were running into, we already have this truck full. We're trying to get tillage done. We're trying to get, Blake get that big field done, so that's done. So there's only 3 of us over here. 2 of them are running harvesters. I can't keep up with running this 12 miles one direction and the cart. It's impossible. So we're kind of at a standstill for the minute until we get either a 4th person or kind of the idea we've come up with at this point. And that is storing this crop. Now, potatoes, it's a root crop. It can be stored on the ground as long as air is kind of running through it. That way they don't mold and they don't rot, which is not ideal. So what we're going to do, and we've kind of debated this a little and whatnot, the co-op has portable concrete walls, essentially is what they are, that we can put in and use to store crops. So what we're going to do is, we talked with them over there. They're going to let us use one of those sets, and we're going to build a temporary root crop storage here without a roof on it. and we're essentially going to bring the trucks over. They got a conveyor belt. We're going to conveyor belt them in or away from the bottom hopper of the truck, and then we're going to use our front loader that's up top and push them in. That's kind of the plan at this point, and in theory it should all work well. However, it's going to take some time, and it's probably going to take the rest of the day. So I'm going to go hop into the semi up here and run over. We might actually, what if we put them over here? Yeah, what if we put it over there? Run up to the co-op, pick those up. Now, we might also use their rear tip trailer so that we don't need to use their conveyor. So instead of running, you know, 2 pieces of equipment, well, really 3 pieces of equipment, we can only rent 2. Which will be nice, save a little bit of money, but I'm never dealing with potatoes again at this point. It's just never happening. I'm gonna park this. Let's just park this in here. Screw it. Want it out of the way. So yeah, I'm never dealing with potatoes again. Never. So I'm gonna hop in here and go pick up those barriers, and actually I'm probably gonna pull the front loader. I'm gonna figure out what we're gonna do, and I'll probably take one of those guys with me, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm running up right now. What I'm gonna do is we got a lot going on. It's 4 o'clock right now. Joey and Dave went home. I just sent them home. We're not gonna be able to continue harvesting today. There's just no way. I'm gonna hop in the Bobcat though. We actually got a lot going on down here, and let me turn this on. We'll kind of go show you. We got a lot going on down here. There's actually a lot of equipment down here too. So I'm gonna take the Bobcat down so we can spread some of this gravel, but you can kind of see some of the equipment there. They got a crane out. They brought a forklift and they brought an excavator. The co-op did. And they're putting up the last like center section of the wall there. Oh, they brought a roller too. I forgot about that. And then obviously we have our front loader and then the skid steer, but I'll kind of show you without getting out of there or in their way here. Put this bucket down. There we go. So we got this pile of stone, and I'll kind of show you what we're going to use that for in a minute, but they're putting that last section of wall. I don't want to go in there. They're putting the last section of wall up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take that stone and we're going to run it in between there. So we got kind of a smoother area than this grass, so we're not getting a lot of dirt and whatnot in the potatoes. So they're going to finish that up, and then they're gonna take off for the night, and I told them I'll lay the stone down, don't worry about that. They gave me permission to use the excavator if needed, and then obviously the roller too, so we can make it nice and smooth and compact. And then we're gonna try to empty that truck and whatnot we got in here, so that way it's kind of out of the way. So yeah, that's what's going on so far, and it's been a few hours. Like I said, we also got their trailer here. That's over there. So as soon as they get out of the way, I am going to grab some of this stone here and get to spreading it. But I'm going to wait till they're done because, again, I don't want that falling on me. That would not be ideal. We're just finishing up. It's 20 to 6 right now. Everyone's kind of gone home. And I'm just finishing packing this, kind of going over everything 2-3 times and making sure it's solid because it will probably be up until the spring, I'm guessing. But we're getting there, and it's pretty much done. So tomorrow, actually, we might even run over tonight and try to unload those trucks. That way tomorrow we're good to go for when we actually start hauling, I guess. Even though we're already harvesting. We'll see. But we're making progress. That's all I can say. All right, now don't ask me how I'm gonna do this, especially with it being like pitch black out. I think the best bet's gonna be to back in there and just try it this way. The problem is these two trailers, specifically this one, because this one's the one that's got all the that's full. The other one's just got a very little amount, but these don't have like rear tips. They're low bottom tips, so they got these hopper bottoms. So I don't know how easy they're gonna unload. That's gonna be challenging. Might have to do a little like I don't even know at this point. So I'm gonna go straight back here, and theoretically we should be good. Turning. I want to turn. Problem is I can't see like that wall. Okay, we should be good to go straight back. I don't know about this. There's that wall. Okay. There's the center wall. I'm gonna figure this out, and then I'll get back with you. I really don't know how I'm gonna do this. All right, we're making progress. What you see here, this little last kind of section or whatnot that is kind of off to the side, this is what's left over from the second truck. So everything that's up against the wall there, that's the first truck that was fully full, I guess is the proper way to say it. Everything else here is just from that second truck. So we're using the front loader, and we're kind of, I'm trying not to, but sometimes you just have to run over the potatoes, which is not ideal. It can break them. Obviously reduces the profit and the money we can get for them, but we just, at this point, we kind of have to do what we have to do. We're already now a day behind, which is not good, and we just, I mean, we're a couple days behind, to be honest with you. We realistically could have gotten more done if it wouldn't have rained, and we would have been able to go right from the get-go this morning. But it is what it is, so I guess at this point we'll just have to take it, and we're just gonna have to work twice as hard. Good news is though, the co-op before they left, the guys that have been working on that, shout out to them. They've been working their butts off the past couple weeks, really the last week, with everything between getting that third harvester fixed, going through the other two harvesters, hooking me up so that we could build this, so that we could store this material, and that looks like it right there. Bringing the equipment down on like short notice. I mean, I ran over today and said, hey, what are we gonna do? And they're like, hey, I got this, I got equipment, hit me up. And they did. So huge shout out to them for everything they've done, and you know, I'm just appreciative. But they got the third harvester all set up, ready to go, and we're solid. So I'm gonna call it a night here, call it an episode as well, call it a video, and stay tuned because we got a lot to do and not a lot of time. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna shut up some of these doors and call it a night because it's late. We've been busy, done a lot of unplanned things today, and it just is what it is. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.